Good morning, Shreveport, Louisiana. We're going live today from Shreveport, Louisiana, and we are our dad's children. We're gonna be on his live feed today.
Good morning, Facebook fam. We're live, me and my boys. We're down here in Shreveport, Louisiana. God is a faithful God. He's a gracious God. I have my boys on today because a lot of youth are engaging themselves in a lot of different things, and the world is just everybody's saying this young generation doing this and this young generation doing that. So I want some young people on here so that we can kind of see where they're coming from, why some of the things go on that goes on. Good morning, Daniela. God bless you. Thank you for joining. A lot of people don't understand that young people have something to say too as well. God tells us not to provoke a child to their wrath. So I'm going to let my oldest son, Robert, the third, RB3, he's going to tell you a little bit about himself. And then I'm going to let my son, Rashard, tell you a little bit about himself. I do want you all to understand that a lot of times we can learn a lot from young people. We look at it as if they're younger than us and they don't know what they're talking about or they don't know things, but they can help us as well as us as older people. So we have to be mindful of those things. My boys know, what do I teach y'all all the time?
Accountability and responsibility.
Accountability and responsibility. That's what I teach them every single day, because I know that if I teach them to be men of understanding, they're going to always have understanding with people. God tells us that in all that we get understanding. So we have to be mindful of these things. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let my son, my oldest, go ahead and tell you a little bit about himself, tell you the school that he's in, the role that he plays, every different thing like that. Before we get started on this live feed, there are so many young people that are out committing suicide. They feel like they're not loved. They feel like the finger trigger is the only thing that can represent or make them feel like they're somebody. So I'm going to let them go ahead and say what they're going to say, and we're going to move further.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert Bailey III. I used to go by RB3, Robert Bailey III. So I usually go by CV. Good morning, Ronnie. And today I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a hard worker at school. I'm a chaplain in my school, T Christian Academy. It's a performing arts school, and so basically my roles there is to be a chaplain, and also to help everyone every day. I get the devotion ready before everyone, and also that when I get home, my main goal is not like most teenagers, probably pick up a cell phone. Actually, we're about a couple of days, like sometimes my internet don't work. It don't matter to me, because like if the internet runs out, I don't need a cell phone for internet, because I can just look up anything in the dictionary, or just looking up regularly. And so basically I always work out. I always sometimes I pray. I ain't gonna tell you no story. Sometimes I pray. I need to do that more often. And I'm an open person. I got a good personality. I love to speak for what's right, and I have a person that always encouraged me. Running Junior always encouraged me each and every day to work harder and not to let anybody stop me for doing the will of God. And officially I'm in the 11th grade, and next year I will be, in a couple months I'll be a full-blown senior. And so I'm proud of that accomplishment, that I'm gonna be a senior, because a lot of people don't make it to where they're almost about to be a senior, or some people don't make it to where they get ready to graduate. And I have my plan ready for what I'm going to do when I get out of high school. I'm going straight into college, so I can be something in life, so I can be better, so I can make a difference in this world, and so I can make a difference from my community and not forget where my family came from. But also dealing with family can be the ones that hurt you too, because we always put our trust in them. We tell them everything we do. And that could be your key to danger, because you telling them everything that you do, everything, but some family members are not happy for what you get, or not happy for what you're doing. They can smile in your face and turn around and do something way foolishness of you. And so we just need to look out sometimes for the this world, what it's becoming, because like nowadays for our youth, it surprised me how much we use the term lit and stuff like that. My definition of lit is having fun. Not doing like anything devilish, but having the little fun of God, and putting God first and knowing that God is God. And so letting God be God is to respect Him. And most other teenagers' definition of lit is to get drunk, or take part in sexual acts, or to take part in drugs or stuff like that. And occasionally the reason why, because like most parents leave them at home, and so common sense says like my parents first teenagers are going to study how often the parents leave them home. And so once they get a hold of what time you coming home or what time you doing this, that's why it's always an occasional wild party is going. And that's why stuff happened in this world, because like we set ourselves up for failure. God give us a warning before destruction. And so with that being said, like when I was saying about the teenagers doing stuff, I mean, if we get together, well, I'm not an adult, but if the adults get together and have youth rallies and music nights, or something on Fridays when they get out of school and they about to hit the weekend, with like movies or something good for the youth, and just create an event, then you won't have so much crime out here. And then another thing is reason why is the school is going the way it's going, because when I was in school, or when I went to South Carolina, we had prayer in school. So our first period was Bible. So therefore, whoever was teaching Bible started our day off good, because he always encouraged us to do the right thing. And so, with that being said, that's the reason why most crimes are going on in the public school, because like nobody looks up to the youth. Everybody downgrades the youth. And another shout I want to do is to Miss Adams. She really put forth into the youth, and she worked so hard. Her and my mom behind the scenes, y'all just don't know how hard they work each and every day to get these live videos up, and just to be able to stand out. And I'm telling you, my mom's shy, but she does a lot of stuff. She have a lot of talent. And my father, he stands out too. He tried to teach us as being man of God to be understanding. And also, as man of God, we got to lead and not follow. I mean, sometimes it's okay to follow, but you have to know what you're following and know the path of what you're following. And so I'm not going to be long the time, but I just want y'all to pray my strength in the Lord, and just pray for the youth, and come up with ideas and stuff like that for the youth, because like in your city right now, it's probably a lot of youth that don't have nothing to do right now. They probably just sitting at home, just on their electronics, and with all that time, instead of them reading or something like that, they doing all types of stuff. So, and then on social media and stuff like that, sometimes it's good to fast away from that, because most days I don't be on the internet. If I'm able to get on the internet, I get on it sometimes and play a little game, Man Mobile or something like that, pool. But besides the point of that, I try to speak to all my friends that I have, and I try to encourage them daily, because life is not guaranteed, and people don't want to just speak the truth and tell the young people the truth. And if you tell them what can happen from that action of them doing, then you have less crime in this city. Therefore, and we also just got to get an understanding of how to behave. As young people, and if a young person is watching this, or multiple young people watching this, just I encourage you to pray daily. I know it's hard to pray daily. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. Just like, you do the raps and stuff like that. And, you know how we do the raps and stuff. And, we put so much comfortable in that rap stuff. And so we can put that same comfort in Jesus Christ. I be my brother to speak.
Good morning. My name is Rashad Bailey. I attend Valiant Cross Academy. We're not students, we're scholars. Scholar is a highly intelligent person. We're all are scholars. And to our youth, I think we should do more by obeying our parents, because they've been there before. We have to listen to them. And a lot of y'all have kids, and you're trying to get them to understand what the right thing to do. And nowadays, it's usually everybody looks up to rappers. Everybody looks up to rappers. If I'm not hip and I'm not rap, then I don't fit in with everybody. It's not always about fitting in with the crowd. Our Father teaches accountability and responsibility. And like my mom, she does things. Like my brother said, we talked to Ronnie Jr. He doing great things. I continue to pray for him, and we learn things from him. He learned things from us. And some things today, our generation is that because everyone keeps saying our generation, people think that they done gave up on us, but we have a lot of good youth in the generation. Just because you are committed as a bad child, God can heal you from that. And I'm passing to my dad.
All right, so I have my sons here with me today. I'm gonna start bringing them in more often on these live feeds so that the young people can understand. I'm trying to attack this live feed today, but we're gonna bind him. Devil have no power here. My sons, I want you all to know that my sons are here with me. We have to be mindful of our youth. The Bible tells, I'm going to ask them a question and let them break it down, because I want the young people to understand that it's not all about the adults always talking. Sometimes we have to let the young people say what they need to say towards the world, because everybody looks at a young person. They say, well, this young generation is messed. Things are going wrong. Most times when things are going wrong, the first thing that we do is we give up. We give up on our children too easy. We have to be mindful of how we work, how we operate around our children. We have to be the parents that we want our children to be. We have to say the things that we want our children to say. I'm gonna ask my oldest son, what does Ephesians 6:1? I'm gonna read the scripture text, and then I'm gonna pass it on to my son Rashard, because I want the young people to understand that you do have a voice, and you have to exercise that voice and speak so that your mothers and fathers can hear you. If they can't hear you, so when God said, "I may live long on the earth," what does that mean to you all as young people? When God said, "I may live long on the earth," what does that mean to you all?
That means to me that, if we prosper in this life, and, if we follow the rules that God left with us and abide by the rules, that we can live a prosperous life, but long eternity life. Therefore, like God's talking about, after, our time is up, if we live a prosperous life, we ain't got nothing to worry about. We ain't got to worry about nobody crying over us, because, if we did the right thing, we are guaranteed, not guaranteed, but, that's a great opportunity for us to open up and, just thank God for his works. But, some people use that as a backlash to people to try to fight against them, like being a Christian. And so being a Christian, comes with a lot of stuff. I mean, the devil will try you the first time, you get baptized, you repent for all your sins and stuff like that.
In the system, they build prisons for us black boys every day. You see how a white man does one thing, and then a black man does one thing. He gets sent straight to jail and get discriminated. So what we have to do is, as young men and young women, we have to listen to our parents and abide by the rules that they set for us.
So we have to be mindful of how the enemy works. The enemy only come to kill, steal, and destroy. When a good word is going forth, when young people are speaking positive, the devil has to come in and try to do his work. But we're going to still press, and we're still going to press toward the mark. So we have to be mindful of how everything flows, everything works, everything happens for a reason. Some things happen for a season. So we have to be mindful to listen to our children, understand what the children are saying into the nation. A lot of young people have a lot of things to say, but we are too busy. Either we're too busy working, we're too busy doing something. We don't have them given an opportunity to speak. A lot of things that I've noticed in school systems is that a lot of older people, they take the children and they forget all about what God said, provoke not a child to their wrath. They forget all about that part, and they begin to say anything, and they begin to do anything and think that a child is supposed to just sit there and just be vulnerable and allow them to just say anything that they want to. No, that's not how it works. If you want respect, you have to give respect. But a lot of people say, oh, this child is younger than me, they beneath me. I ain't going to give them this respect. I'm not going to say this, I'm not going to say that. At the same time, that same person that you want respect may be a doctor one day that has to work on you. That person that you want respect may be a bank broker or somebody that you're going to have to depend on one day, and you want them to display a different wisdom when in actuality you have done them so wrong. So I wanted to bring my boys on this morning so that they can kind of talk to you all, so you all can see from a older person perspective versus a young person perspective, and we can all gain understanding. We can't say that a child is too young to speak. A child is too young to do this, because that what happened to me when I was coming up. When I was coming up, they was always saying that I'm not old enough, you don't know enough, you don't have enough wisdom, you don't have enough knowledge. But you'll be surprised what the young people know. The things that we think they don't know, they know. They know. So we have to be mindful of these things and how to understand these things. So the next thing that I'm going to say is coming out of Ephesians, the 6th chapter and the 4th verse. It says, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. And ye father, provoke not your children to wrath. So what this is telling me is that I have to display wisdom. I have to show that I am a grown person. I have to show that I am a parent, and I can't sit right here and just pick at them for no reason. My children know that when I get on them, it's for their good. I don't get on them just to show out on them. I don't get in public and try to show out on them or do a certain thing, because this is how I am all the time. I love my children. I love my boys. I thank God for my children. I thank God for my family every day. But at the same time, I'm not going to let my children go out here and do things that they shouldn't do, say things that they shouldn't say. I'm not going to do that, because I want my children to grow up and be men of understanding, women of understanding, so that they can learn how to grow in this life instead of just learn how to let God build us and continue to be those people that God can depend on. See, he said in the last day that he's going to pour his spirit out on all flesh, and the young people are going to be able to prophesy. See, a lot of people, the young people are not able to tell you what is going on with God and what God is speaking, because we always shut the young people down. Every time the young people say something, we shut them down. We have to give them the opportunity, the same opportunity we want. We got to give them the same opportunity to speak. So I'm going to ask my son Rashard to say some of the things that goes on in school that bothers him in his school. Then I'm going to ask Robert the same thing, because there's a lot of things that go on in your child's school, and the parents, the first thing that the teacher call and say that your child is out of order, you ready to go to school and whoop them. But sometimes you need to see the situation for what it is. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, I get started. So, well, when I was I went to Haven Road Elementary, but it closed down. It's a behavior school now. So when I was in that school, we got calls, but we we didn't get as much calls as nowadays you get for what a student do. So I had this one lady that always look up to me, that always taught me to respect people, and her name is Miss Nettie. And she always, I mean, trust me, she wasn't scared to put her hands on you. Cause like she knew if you was wrong, she was gonna tell you wrong. She looked out for you, but you know she just was there for you during the school, and therefore, you know, I mean, as an adult, and you know you have a situation with a young person, you just have to be aware that, you know, they some teenagers are growing up, and you know we gonna get the big head sometimes. You know, we all not perfect.